God says that this global collapse that's coming is going to set all humanity back 50 years in terms of how far it's going to reach and how severe it's going to be. The prophecy that talks about this is called Nothing But Scattering. I brought that prophecy last year. That was one of the live prayer calls that the Lord gave me. A live prayer call is where I'm on the phone praying with others, and then prophecy just begins to bubble forth. It's not one of these where I have a dream, or it's not one of these where the Lord will sit with me and speak to me and tell me, write down all my words and record what I'm saying. Live prayer call is where we're praying about something else entirely, and then live information, prophetic information from the Lord begins to bubble forth out of my mouth, and I'm just speaking, saying what is being put into my heart, saying the pictures that I'm seeing, expressing them. So there are about 5 or 6 of that on the blog. And Nothing But Scattering is about 35 minutes of God explaining very clearly that there is coming a great, terrible, far-reaching economic global crash that is going to reach as far into Asia. One of the sentences from that prayer call is that I see the Japanese economy shuddering, but it is not going to be destroyed. However, Europe, America will take you down totally with her, because I saw that the European Union and the United States are completely enmeshed in their economies. And I was saying, Europe, why did you do this? Why did you integrate yourself so closely with a nation that cannot balance its books? A nation that does not even practice honest money and honest politics within its own borders. Why would you take someone who is driving her vehicle into the wall and let her sit in the driver's seat of your economy? And so in Europe, when this global collapse comes, it's going to be very strongly felt there, mirrored there, and in any other economy that is enmeshed with America, meaning they're equal trade partners, or that is subservient to America. Any country that is depending on America for food aid, financial aid, technology aid, any kind of aid, when this country goes and slams against the wall, one of the first things she's going to do is cut off her arms. I spoke of that in one of the prophecies. It doesn't come to mind now, but I saw that because America was going through so much problem. She was going through social ills at home. Her people were fighting each other. She was having political difficulties. She was having economic difficulties. I saw that America began to cut off her own arms. One of the arms she cut off was the military. America began to shut down all her bases. I think this country has over 130 bases around the world. Well, she began to pull soldiers back from deployment because she could no longer maintain military bases. She could no longer maintain embassies, and she could no longer maintain some other third kind of diplomatic presence in other countries. So there were 3 things that the nation of America began to pull back on. She began to pull back because she had no finances, she had no resources, she had no support. And so if there are countries out there that are dependent on the US dollar, such as Zimbabwe is, for example, then those countries are really going to fulfill what God says here. The huge global financial crisis is at hand. Staggering economies. When your economy is staggering, it suffers a financial hit. I'm not able to say what the various types of financial hits are. It's just that when they do happen, maybe it's a currency crash, or maybe it's something else, overnight devaluation, or maybe it's something else. But when it hits, it is almost impossible for the entire nation to keep its feet. People need to be more sober-minded when they're listening to these things. What does it mean when your country cannot keep its feet financially? One of the first ways that people will feel that is that they won't be able to get money. You won't be able to get access to money. I prophesied these things early in 2022, in March 2022, concerning the nation of Nigeria, that they were going to go through an economic and financial shock. And people mocked that prophecy. They didn't take it seriously. And yet it only took 8 months for that prophecy to be fulfilled.